Hello and a very warm lemony hove welcome to Creator Club. I'm so happy to see you here, and I'm so happy to see you on the replay listening. And a really nice thing to do with the replay is just listen to the audio replay. So I'll post both the video and the audio because different people like to receive different information differently. So the more ways that you can receive it and find a way that really works for you, then the better. And a really good way of receiving information in a different way is to listen to it on your headphones and go for a nice walk, or listen to it and have a nice lie down and relax yourself and then listen. And so these creative ideas can sometimes go in a different way when you're more relaxed, and then you get much more creative juice out of that. So let's get started, and I'm so excited. My intention, I'm going to talk about relight your creative fire, and I'm going to share with you a really easy and fun way of how to start that. And it's really valuable because it can really help you to get clear where you're going and why that's important to you. And if you are feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling like you're doing so much hard work but not getting where you want to get to, then this really helps. This is the one thing that makes the biggest difference. And it matters to me to share this. And I actually shared this in a group the other week, and it was so powerful. That's why I created this, to share it with as many people as possible, because sometimes people spend their whole life just doing stuff without really thinking about it. And then eventually that spark and that fire can run out. And then you might get to a point where you just think, why do I do what I do every day? What's this all about anyway? Do you relate? Do you relate to that? And so and then people do sometimes then go into that really big question, and it is a big question. And some people go on the Camino de Compostela and they do lots of pilgrimage, or they do lots of inner work, or they do loads of inquiry, or some nice movement, or some embodiment, or some meditation, or go to a spiritual place and sit in India on top of a mountain for ages and try not to get got by the tigers, which is what I've done. And so, but sometimes this real spark, this real, what is your guiding light? This can be hard to find. And if you find it, it's really great, because things become easier, and it's easier to create a focus, and it's easier to go for that. So it's my purest desire, and it matters a lot to me, to just say to people, look, this is what works for me, and this makes it very easy, and it could potentially save you so much soul searching and so much trying and starting lots of projects, doing lots of things without getting where you want to get to. It can save you all of that potentially, and it can just get you from A to B a lot quicker, so that you can use your joy, so that you can use your creativity, and essentially what is your soul force, your soul power, there's a drive within. And I'm going to read, this is really lovely. There's just a drive. Let's face it, most of us have the suspicion that there is much more to life than we have been led to expect. Our lives are filled with secret possibilities that there are dimensions to ourselves, depths of being, and heights to our aspirations that are lurking just below the surface. Despite years of attempts by relatives, friends, acquaintances, and society to bring us to our senses, the desire and impulse to reach that which is the highest in us is still there. After all the appeals to reason, we still have the very human urge to do something that matters to us. Despite all the times that society has endeavored to kill that instinct in us, it just won't die. Oh, what do you think about that then? You're feeling your spark starting to go, I need to get a lighter. Why did I normally got all my props on my table? A lighter would have really worked. I'm not going to go over there because I've got pajamas on my bottom half and no one needs to see that. Spark, 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 spark. So there's a spark, there's a light, there's a desire. There's a desire, there's the trailer to an idea. It's just, and that's maybe how you are here now. Because once upon a time, before you were here, there was a spark and there was a desire in your mummy and daddy, wasn't there? There was a spark. There was a, and so this is, let's let this person in. So there's the spark. Do you relate to that idea? If you give me a wave or a little heart or something. And of course, as the Take That song did say, and I think it was who sang it before Take That? Was it Lulu? I think so. Relight my fire. Some people call it your mojo. Some people call it lots of other cool things, but I'm going to now share a little visual because it really helps. It really, oh, sugar, no, not that. It really helps to have now let me stop recording. All right, so let me share a visual. So I'm really interested in serving all of the different ways that we learn. There we go. Okay, so relight your creative fire. Fire. So why relight your creative fire? Or if your creative fire maybe hasn't been lit, or maybe it hasn't been lit for a while, that's okay. But why is that a good idea? It can help you to discover a direction that is true for you. A direction that's yours, like a life path. When you have a direction, when you are guided by what is true for you, you can have focus. And when you have focus, all the overwhelm becomes clearer. So it's a quick way out of overwhelm when you have a focus that's true, a focus that's powerful, and most importantly, a focus that's yours. The side effect of that is that you can enjoy and receive a renewed sense of motivation. So when all of those things are in place, when you've relit your spark, when you have a fresh focus, or maybe it's an old focus that you're just choosing to focus on now, you're refreshing that focus. You're remembering what matters to you, what's important. Then a new energy, new motivation, new direction, all of this starts to come through again. So in the Northern Hemisphere, we are enjoying allegedly springtime. So I've just looked out of the window and there are beautiful leaves and things are starting to come into bloom. I'm so glad I didn't just spill all that water over myself because that just nearly happened. So then what happens? Okay. So something I'm really, really passionate about is structural thinking. What is structural thinking? Is when you can see something structurally or symbolically. Why is that helpful? If you can see something, how it's operating in a dynamic or in a structure, in a dynamic, then you can see patterns. When you can see a pattern, you have a real advantage because then you can predict what's going to happen. So for example, here's a pattern, 1 + 1, 1 plus one, plus one, plus one, plus one, and then plus another one, you can predict that another one is going to make it add up to 6. And it's exactly the same for intangible things, for life complicated things, actually. And that's what I'm really excited about. Let's have a look at that a little bit more. So here is a structure. There are 2 points to a structure here. There are 2 elements. At the moment, it's A. Point A is a human being, is a person. And then point B is a mystery. A mystery. Is there a dynamic between those 2 points? Now, consider this instead. This is a structure and a dynamic because point A and B are joined. So there's a joining bit in between. And point B is a focus. Point B is a focus. And I've put the heart, the love heart there, because to represent something that the person wants, or something that they want, they care about, something that matters, something is important, something that they love. So whatever word that represents, but there's the spark. And so when there is that focus, when there is that nice thing, there's that nice thing, and there's person over here, how easy is that to go for it, to run over to it? Go for it. Smells nice, feels nice, beautiful colors, makes me feel good. I'm going over that way. After this call, I'm going over to the kitchen, make a hot drink. Now I know what my focus is. I'm going towards my passions. So there's a structure. So let's look at that again. This is no focus. Why? Because we haven't defined what point B is. So it's a mystery. It's like anywhere the wind blows. I had a coaching session just earlier. And the client was saying, well, obviously we were talking about focus because it was a coaching session. And she said, well, I just go wherever the wind takes me. And in my mind, I was looking at this structure. Well, that's what happens. So structurally, point B as a focus is don't know, whatever. Well, when it's whatever, it's not defined as a thing yet. And so then the human being is just going, no flowers over there, no flowers over there, no cuddles over there, no playmates over here. Don't know. Oh, we have another person. Let me let them in. Okay. And so alternatively, point B here is there is a focus. There is a focus, and it makes it much more simple. Hello and welcome. Welcome, those who have just joined, if I can ask you to mute yourself. Okay, so give me a wiggle of your fingers if this is landing, if this is resonating with you, or if you have any questions. Okay. I'm going to race through this. So how, the big mystery then, perhaps, so instead from going, there's the mystery, oh, I don't really know where I'm going in my life, or a lot of people say to me, well, I don't like having a focus because I don't know, and there's lots of overwhelm and there's confusion around that. But when you have a focus, and when you focus on what does it for you, on what expresses your true nature, then something very powerful happens, because it's really clear. Oh, there's that, lovely. You go for it, and it becomes simple and clear, and your pathway, there it is defined. And you have a renewed sense of motivation because you know where you're going, and you are being pulled by that which you want because you want it. So the first question is then, well, how do we define what that focus is? And how do we relight that creative spark, that fire? Well, here's a really simple way of doing it, because this, as I said, can be a very deep existential inquiry that all the philosophers and all the people throughout the sands of time have been endeavoring to resolve this mystery. So it's really around, and we're going to do a really fun exercise in a moment. What do you really want? What is it? What is it that you, if you met an angel, right? If you met an angel in the street, or if you were just having a really great meditation on a cloud and you met with an angel, I really believe that the angel would say to you, so my darling, darling mate, do you want some cup of light tea? What is it? What do you really want? What do you really want? Tell me. You can tell me. So the path of effectiveness, the path of least resistance, clarity, focus, passion is by playing. This is the heart of the matter. What do you really want? Consider what matters to you. And that in turn creates a pathway that is true for you. So can we just pause for a moment and just close your eyes? Take a breath. Breathing in. And sense your breath as it goes in and out. And just imagine or sense or envisage a pathway that is true for you. It's got all the things in it that you like. Mine's obviously got loads of kittens and pandas. And it's got all the things that you like. And the activities and the colors and the textures and the environment and the people and the animals. But it's a pathway that's yours, that's true for you. And you're just walking in your truth. You're doing you. And while so many people say, you just do you, or it's all right, mate, just be yourself. Yeah, but what in the heaven is that? Well, this is, in my experience of facilitating personal development for 31 years, this is the quickest, easiest way of doing that. What do you really want? What matters to you? What expresses your truth, your true nature? So when you create with your soul force, you embrace your genius. Okay, and so now, would you like to do that? Would you like to have a go? Give me a wave or a thumbs up in your thingy. Yeah, if you'd like. Okay, so here's the question. It's the same question for you if you're listening on your replay, or if you're having a lovely walk along the seaside when it's sunny, or in the park. Listen to this inquiry, reflect on it, and then take your voice recorder and speak into your phone, or you can audio transcribe, or you can write, or you can draw a picture, or do a movement, however you like to document and record your information. Find your way of doing that. And the most amazing, wonderful, life-building question that I've ever discovered is this one. Is, if you were being true to yourself, what would you do? So I'm going to now do breakout rooms. We're going to share in pairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. We're going to share in pairs for 4 minutes each. And then you can carry on exploring this after that. And It's a wonderful inquiry. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Oh, okay, we're 4 of us, right? So let's do that now. So we're going into breakout rooms. I'm going to pause the recording, and if you're listening on replay, ask yourself this question and connect with nature, or connect with your breath, connect with your body. If you were being true to yourself, what would you do? And be light about it, be simple, whatever comes in. Hello and welcome. Welcome back. So, did you have an inquiry either with yourself or with your partner? If you were being true to yourself, what would you do? Would any of you like to share in the chat, if you can, and I know it might be difficult, in one sentence, what you got for yourself, what you realized? What would be this thing or this sentence that represents your spark? What lights you up? Don't actually do this. Health and safety. What makes you come alive? What lights your fire? Can you share in the chat? Might be a word, might be a sentence, but if you can, and if you're watching this on replay, if you can capture in a way that makes sense to you. Okay, I'm already being true to myself. However, I could step into more of my brave, bold, brave self. That's great. Thank you so much for sharing. So would that light your creative fire if you were focusing on your bold and brave self? Would that give you that? Okay, we've got connection and the results are in. Scores on the door. Connection. I personally, funny you should mention that. That's what does it for me, which is why I've connected with you at the moment. This really does it for me. This really does it. I live for connection. And that's why I sing and I perform. Why? Because more than anything else, much as I love music, I love that feeling of the connection. So get that. Like I could say, hey, music sparks me up. Music. Oh, it's all about music. But actually, it's connection, because I'm connecting with the music. I'm connecting with my instrument. I'm connecting with other humans. My heart is connected with other hearts. That does it for me every time. Yeah, connection. So this is brilliant. So if you can get what sparks you, what does it for you, that is the gold. That's your genius. Let's have a look. Community, culture, belonging, sunshine, beaching, embrace, enabling others, smiles. Lovely. Spark. So you know what are the ingredients in your dream yummy dish or cake? It's those words. That's lovely. Let my heart show me the way instead of my mind. Lovely. So if that's your heart, spark, like my little diagram. So the person is going for the heart, then you get your clear throughway. I would maintain aspects of my life that I love and enjoy without shame, fear, and/or scarcity mindset. That's really clear. The pathway then becomes clear. And then here's what happens with that. So there's the focus, whatever that may be. There's you now, person, there's focus, and that creates tension. That you are in tension with it or in relationship with it. And tension naturally seeks resolution. You don't have to do anything to resolve the tension. You just have to relax, and A goes over to B. Tension naturally resolves itself. So the moment that you focus on your focus, see what I did there? I know it's late. It's been a long day. There's the focus. There's you in tension with it. Tension is good here. It's creative tension. Tension. You relax. Tension seeks resolution. You go towards it. Natural motivation, natural momentum. And the first point of that is to define what is B, what is the focus. That's why it's so important. Otherwise, without a focus, where am I going with my life? I haven't got any energy. That's why. It's physics. Oh, I know exactly where I'm going. I know what I'm doing today. Pow! On it. On it. Then the rest of the day, I chill out. Okay. So okay, we've done that. Connection is huge for being human. Yes. Be on the move and inspire young people. Yeah. Spark. Yeah, that spark. That spark. I know you. I know that sparks you. How do I know that? When you talk about it, your eyes light up and the body sparks up. So that's how you know. Creativity and beauty with others. Yeah. Said the designer. Wonderful. Here's one I made earlier. Here's a focus. So you go for what does it for you. Well done. And I'm really actually happily surprised to read that you said things that you want, because often what this exercise can do sometimes is create and bring up things that you don't want. And that's okay as well. That's normal. That's natural. So I really acknowledge you for being focused and actually getting, if you were being true to yourself, what are the things that spark? What are those things? And how is that the best place to start? Like, how is that the most effective? Well, I'm going to visually show you how that is, because so if we can learn with lots of different faculties, you can receive it better. So when you create with your soul force, what's one of them? It's that. Pew. What's your creative fire? What does it for you? What gets you up? You embrace your genius. That just means your creator self. Your genius. It's just the part that just is that little child and that little puppy and that little kitten playing, investigating, creating. I wonder what that does. I wonder what's under there. I wonder what's under there. And it's just, it's abundant, infinite source of ideas. Some people call it your creative source. So well done. What we did just now is we had a look at, well, discover a true direction. Well, how do you do that? Some people spend all their life, and some people sadly may not even, after a whole lifetime, discover the direction and the pathway that is true to them. Have you ever heard of the 5 regrets of the dying, anybody? So if you haven't, I recommend that you check it out. But essentially, when a palliative care nurse did research survey on all the human beings that she saw off, and discovered that there were 5 main regrets of people that were leaving this plane, that they all said the same 5 things. And the main one was that I wish I had been true to myself. I wish I had been true to myself. I wished I hadn't worked so hard. So we've had a look at that. We've discovered, but how do you discover that direction? Well, the simplest way that I've discovered after teaching it for 31 years and being on my own journey for 50 is you focus on a focus. You focus on a focus. How do you do that? You ask yourself what sparks you up. What's your lighter? Then you focus on that. You create, there's your pathway. It starts with, you don't start at the beginning. You start actually at the end. Where are you going? And where are you now? You create structural tension, and tension seeks resolution. When you relax, A goes over to B, and that replaces overwhelm, because You know where you're going. Not only that, you've got motivation, you've got advancement, you've got momentum that's taking you there. And that motivation is an organic side effect. You don't have to work at being like, right, motivate, come on, let's do this. You know, if you are in a focus pull dynamic with what you want, with what you care about, with what does it for you, it's natural. It's just that. Okay, so we looked at structural thinking. There you go for what you want. It's easy. You know where you're going, what matters to you. When you operate from what matters, what happens? This is really amazing. You upgrade your operating system. From where to where? From survival, from problem solving, putting out fires, up to creative orientation, up to genius, OS genius. So what does that mean? It means you are working, you are running from your creative source. You are running from your spark, from your soul force, from that which is true for you. And for you, that's unique. Only you know that. And it's okay if you don't know that, because most people don't really ask these questions. But they're the most wonderful, beautiful questions. Because when you get that clarity, you get your essence, everything becomes more simple, and you come out of the overwhelm into the clarity. A little bit about me. So I've created the Genius Journey, and it's a life path upgrade that overcomes self-sabotage, procrastination, and inner critic by turning your projects and passions into completed projects. So I'm working very much in the physical realm of doing stuff that you care about and doing it to completion. Now, this is really, really important, because what often happens is that people have the spark, you've got the spark and you go for it and you scramble around and do all of that, which I call spread. You spread out and so you spark, and then the fire literally spreads. It spreads and you go for it and you talk to that one and do this and try a bit of that and ring that bell and knock on that door and bang that drum over there. So spread, but eventually it doesn't work over here. It doesn't work over there. It doesn't work over there. And eventually a lot of people that talk to me and tell me what happens for them is that they then lose sight of their end result and they don't get to the finish line. Now, this is really important to understand the 3 steps of creation. So this is Creator Club, and this is the big exciting news. So this week, my delight, my spark said to me, oh, let's do a 3-day challenge. I don't just want to be with you today for 1 hour and have to wait for a month. No, I want to see them more than that. That's actually what was true for me. That was true for me. I'm very sociable. I love to play and co-create with people. So I thought, oh, 3-day challenge, 5 days, too much, overwhelming. I'm all about low overwhelm, easy, simple fun. 3-day free 3-day challenge, free 3-day challenge. Can you say that? Tongue twister. So next week, it happens to be the 1st of May. So next Wednesday, 10 a.m.s, all of them 10 to 11, either watch live with me or replay is just as effective. 3 steps of creation: spark, spread, and stop. Now, why? Now, this is so crucial. So it breaks my heart that so many people actually give up on their dreams. And they give up on their dreams, not because the dream wasn't a good dream, not because it wasn't a good dream, not because they did not have the capacity or the ability to get from A to B, but because they started the fire, they got the idea, the fire spread. I won't demonstrate that stage, but the fire spread and they did lots of cool stuff. But eventually, what happens to the fire? It died. It naturally, it's biology. It dies out. and then it's just embers. And then where's the motivation? But why isn't it happening? Why isn't my project, why isn't anybody answering my emails? Why isn't bang, bang, bang on the door? Does that sound familiar? Why? I've tried everything. But I've tried everything. So I'll go and try harder and more tomorrow. And then eventually, sadly, and this is true, people get burnout. And what's really exciting for me, because I miss structural thinking, because if you can get cute cats, if you can get, if you're so cat jealous now, I can't even concentrate. People that know me know that if they put cats on screen, I'll just start to dribble there. Right. So back in the room, the sad thing is, and it's good because it's exciting, because I'm going to show you how to get over that bit, is that people have a project or an idea or a dream. I have a dream. So they have a dream, they're over here, brilliant idea. Okay, yeah, go get some funding, go and get people to play with or do it on your own, go. But eventually it starts to run out, the momentum starts to run out. And this is not personal. It's just why there was one missing piece. There are 3 steps to creation. Step 1, spark, the idea. Step 2, spread, is the implementation, is the doing. But step 3, stop, which is declare it complete. So that's the end result. This is so important. And I really have a very big hunch that this is most people's missing piece. How, if you don't define when something's done, what that will look like and what it will be like when your project is complete, then how do you know when you've done it? How do you know when to stop? When does the artist stop painting and stop it and leave it before they ruin it? Or when does the entrepreneur stop throwing everything at their business before they burn out? Or when does the person stop overgiving and stop overdoing and overcaring for other humans or whatever? So is that making a bit of sense? If you just have this one, and this is just a project's life cycle, and it's an actual life cycle. There's the idea, there's the mummy and daddy, there's the spark, there's the implementation, the baby, the growth, the life cycle, the doing, and eventually the completion, the embers go out, the closing of that door, the end of that life cycle. And unless I have clarity about when it's done, how will I know when it's time to start the next cycle or the next project? Like, what happens to the energy? What happens to the momentum if I don't have clarity when I get there? And this is a really key missing piece, because if you do, now here's a really, really brilliant thing. It doesn't matter, just try this on. It doesn't matter if you're happy with the end result or not, if you're happy with it or not. Why? Because this environment of genius is an environment of learning. So there's no right or wrong. In my world, and in the world that I'm inviting you in, it's not binary. It's non-binary in my world. It's non-binary. It's not right or wrong. It's not good or bad. It's not success or failure. Okay. It's all learning. It's all learning, growing, evolving, tweaking. So that's an amazing thing, because then your creative muscle relaxes. And when you relax, tension resolves. So any idea, any question, any issue, tension resolves when you relax. So when you know where you're going and you declare that done, at that point, you can then assess. And you can go, okay, what was effective relative to the end result? What got me not quite there? Or what slowed me down? Or what really, really accelerated? So that cycle of learning here in getting over to your B, that learning piece, because people just want the instant, potentially gratification of, right, there's my idea, go for it. Everyone's going to say yes and yay, finish line. Yay. Thank you very much. Flowers. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, that would be nice. That would be easy. But then you're missing out on training your genius muscle, on learning, on growing, on evolving. Because if you've run that pathway once, like I did a show in March. It was the first show I ever did. So I ran that pathway. The learning curve was like that. It was actually like that. Okay. Last night I did the second show and it was a lot easier. It was like, why? Because I've already done it. So I've already walked that path. So I know what I'm doing. I know the pathway. And I learned lots of new things and it was a lot better. It was 50% better, actually. Next time I do it, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to be even better. Why? What's the only difference with this? This is a creation example that I'm giving you that is my own. I have a clear, and it's easy with a project like this. Well, there's a clear finish date. The finish date was the 23rd of April. Well, it's done. I can't just say, oh, hey, everyone, wait at the venue. I haven't finished yet. I'll see you tomorrow. So the clarity on finishing and declaring something as done. And you honor that and you celebrate that and you acknowledge that. And it's great, even if you don't like it, great, because what can we learn? Okay, so it's all good. It's all good. So why is this so amazing? A 3-day challenge next week that will take you in more detail into the 3 cycles of creation. Spark, which we've just done, more detail into spark, spread, and stop. So each day you will run through the cycle and I will challenge you. We are all going to do the same project next week, and it's going to be an easy project that you will do in the space that you live in. Okay, an easy project. And the reason why I'm going to set an easy, fun project that will give you the end result of more satisfaction and more delight is so that you learn and you run through the 3 stages of creation. And why is that? Why is that important? When you learn the 3 stages of creation, you can then, because you've been through it, you know what that pathway is, you know what the learning points are at each part, you know what your signposts are, you know how it feels at stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3. And at stage 3, when it's done, the amount of new energy, it's like, oh, now what songs can I learn? Like I was literally learning new songs today. Like, even though I can't even feel my fingers with all the calluses, seriously. And I'm learning new songs. Why? Because I haven't got to remember 15 songs in my head. So I've got more space for the next new thing. And that's how you keep your enthusiasm and your motivation rolling and rolling and rolling. Not only that, it advances and appreciates each time. Thank you so much. Now that's the hour. I like to be really prompt and very big on time respect. So thank you so much. I will be sending you the invites. It's going to be the same login. So Wednesday, the 1st of May, the 2nd, the 3rd, and of course on May the 4th, we're going to have a completion celebration party called May the 4th be with you, of course. And when I got that pun, I couldn't believe how good it was. I thought, that's got to be it. That's what I'm going to do. Thank you so much. So then I've got even more exciting news after that. So thank you so much. And now if I will now stop recording, and if anybody wants to share, please do. Thank you so much for